Hello students, welcome to SR Concepts. I am Ravi Verma and in this video we will start the new chapter, that is natural resources. First of all, resource is anything that can be put into use that is useful to us. There are two types of resources. One are natural resources and the other are man-made resources. Clothes, cars, bikes, mobile phones, everything, these all things are called man-made resources, while the resources which are present in nature, which have not been produced by human beings, are called natural resources. For example, air, water and land, these three things are the natural resources as they exist by nature. Air is called atmosphere. It is a mixture of different gases like oxygen and nitrogen. Water is hydrosphere. It is called hydrosphere and it exists in three forms. One is the surface water. Second is the underground water, and the third is vapor state, water vapor state. Right. So, dear students, as you know that around 75% of the earth's surface is covered with water. This is called surface water. Now, water or hydrosphere supports life. A large number of animals and plants are found there in water. In the same way, land, which contains different types of soils, this is called lithosphere, and this also supports the growth of plants and the life of a large number of animals and microorganisms. So in soil you will find a number of animals also, a number of microbes also, and a very large number of plants. So as you can see that all these three things are very important for life. The air, water and the land. These all things are very important for life. So we can say the living organisms should be existing only in those regions of the earth where air, water and soil is available. So dear students, organisms like plants, animals, right, these are found only in those areas of earth where these things are interacting with each other. Such areas are called biosphere. So what is biosphere? Biosphere is those includes those regions of earth or those zones of earth where atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere are available and are supporting the life of living organisms. So biosphere is the area, is the zone where living organisms are found. Right. Now let's move on to the components of a biosphere. There are two components, the abiotic components and biotic components. Dear students, the biotic components means living things, for example plants, animals and different microorganisms. Non-living things like soil, water, air, minerals and light. So biotic and abiotic things constitute the biosphere. Now let's discuss a little bit more detail about air. Yes, students, air consists of different gases. Nitrogen is around 78 to 79%. As here you can see, this yellow portion is showing the fraction of nitrogen, right? The contribution of nitrogen is around 79%. Oxygen is around 20 to 21%. Carbon dioxide around 0.03 to 0.04%. Dear students, this composition of air remains a little bit constant, a little bit, not a little bit, but most of the time it remains constant. Why? Because the gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen are being continuously being produced and consumed both. So let's understand how carbon dioxide is produced on earth. So dear students, the eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells, they undergo respiration, and during respiration process the glucose molecules are converted or broken down into carbon dioxide plus water. Right. So glucose reacts with oxygen to make carbon dioxide plus water. So in this way we can say that oxygen is being consumed or removed from the atmosphere and carbon dioxide is being added. Another process that produces carbon dioxide is combustion. During combustion, whenever some organic material gets burnt, whenever some organic material is under combustion, it reacts with oxygen and it produces carbon dioxide plus water, right? So again oxygen is being removed from the atmosphere and carbon dioxide is being added. Now if we talk about the reverse process, okay, now the reverse process of this means we have seen that organic material or glucose reacts with oxygen to convert into CO2 and water. This is happening in two processes. One is the respiration and the other is combustion. Right. So respiration and combustion both remove oxygen and add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. On the other hand, there are reversal processes also, means the process which reverse this situation. For example, there is a process known as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. This is done by autotrophs, means all the green plants or green microorganisms having chlorophyll. What they are doing? They are removing carbon dioxide, means carbon dioxide reacts with water and they produce glucose plus oxygen in this process. So in this process you can see that during the photosynthesis carbon dioxide is being removed from the atmosphere and oxygen is being added to the atmosphere. So there are two different types of processes which are balancing each other. This means respiration and combustion. These are removing oxygen and adding carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. While on the other hand, photosynthesis means respiration and combustion are removing oxygen and adding carbon dioxide, while photosynthesis is removing carbon dioxide and adding oxygen to the atmosphere. In this way, the concentration of oxygen and carbon dioxide remains more or less constant. However, there may be certain fluctuations in their concentration. Now, if we talk about what about carbon dioxide present in water. So dear students, generally carbon dioxide present in water or especially the marine waters if we talk about. So carbon dioxide present in marine waters exists in the form of carbonates. Carbonates are the salts or compounds of carbon dioxide. So carbonates. So what happens? Marine animals absorb these carbonates and convert them into their shells. We have studied about molluscs which make their shells. So the shells are generally made up of calcium carbonate. So the carbonates are the form of carbon dioxide which is present in marine animals. Now the atmosphere of Earth helps in maintaining its temperature. Dear students, let's understand the presence of gases around Earth prevents an increase in the temperature of Earth during the daytime. So because around the Earth there is a blanket of air, blanket of gases, this is called atmosphere. So this atmosphere prevents sudden heating of the Earth. In the same way, atmosphere prevents harmful radiations of sun from reaching the Earth's surface. Right, atmosphere has ozone layer and the ozone layer protects you from ultraviolet. Then atmosphere prevents the heat of Earth in escaping the Earth's surface during the night time. That means when there is evening, there will not be a sudden fall in the temperature of the Earth. So this is why we can say because of this, the temperature of Earth remains more or less close to each other in range. Means the range of temperature is not very long. We can say that the temperature remains in such a range which supports life on Earth. But if we talk about moon where there is no atmosphere, what happens? During the night time temperature suddenly goes to very low, that is minus 190 degree, while during the daytime the temperature becomes very high. When the moon receives sunlight, the temperature suddenly jumps to 110 degree, right? So this is extremes of temperature during the same day of the moon, and because of this extreme temperature there is no life on moon. So dear students, up to this topic we have discussed the role of atmosphere, right? In the next video we will be discussing about the further topics, as the video has already been around 10 minutes. Okay, so we will be discussing later the more topics of this video. Thank you.